Guys, I don't know how such small children can sound like a herd of elephant running through the falls. They sound like they weigh 200 pounds. Hey, Nigel. Oh, sorry. Hey, Nigel. Hi, Night Breeze. There we go. Oh, I paused it. Fuck, I paused it. I didn't. That was dumb. Okay. Yeah. As you can tell, it's been a while since we've been on here, so trying to remember what I'm doing. So, and it goes to top chat automatically, which nobody ever actually uses. They only want live chat, so that's still a thing. So, anyway, some kids having relationship problems. Like they're teenagers, what do you expect? So, anyway, okay, wait a second. Say hi to everybody. Everybody who's coming in, come in. So, it was nice to see Mr. Hyde and Night Breeze, and of course Slasher and Nigel, 111 y'all, and Sith Lord, of course. You both understand I'm the least professional streamer imaginable. Welcome aboard. We all have our moments, believe me. I don't have a good angle, but I'm still trying to find it. But man, I'm telling you what, I've been absolutely just watching the disaster that's been going on for a while. Even not even this like the past week. Oh, that's not who I thought it was. Okay. Oh fuck. What? Hold on. This might actually add to this. What? Asking for context. I just got sent a shitload of pictures. Boy, wait till you see this crap, actually. Let me pull up my Facebook so you guys can see this. This is what I just received. Give me a second, sorry. They're making my messenger difficult. Instead you sit on the phone, it's a pain in the ass any other way. Hold on. I'll get to you shortly. Oh, okay, so you're a bitch like that. Okay. Shit is acting weird. Give me a minute, sorry. Alright. Let me pull this out. Alright. So I just got sent this. Let me go to screen share. Yeah, I was about to talk about the way things are kind of a disaster, and I just got a picture of this. And I find this interesting, and I asked for the context. Holy bloody hell! The report is 20,000 troops. So, all right, we're sharing. It says I'm sharing this. So we got this. We got all them. We got those guys. I don't know who this dude is, but we got all these guys. They look like they're giving me a tour. I don't know who this guy is.
If you tell a lie big enough, and that's what they're doing. You see Pelosi, you see Schumer.
Hold up. Actually, did I share this with sound? Hold on, let me fix it. I don't think I shared it with sound. You're gonna want to hear this possibly, actually. All right, share screen, share audio. I thought that was just gonna be pictures. Apparently there is more to it. So, all right, there we go. Now you'll be able to see it. Let me rewind this a smidge.
Look, this is a scorecard from Joseph Goebbels. If you tell a lie big enough, and that's what they're doing. And you see Pelosi, you see Schumer. Ann just told me that Pelosi called the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley, and they're trying to get him out on the 25th Amendment or to impeach him. Why? Well, because on Wednesday, they took Pelosi's laptop. She's frantic. There were some people in there that were special forces mixed with Antifa, and they took her laptop and they had that data.
We're not going to be Antifa.
Because they have that data. I believe they also have a source that is talking like a songbird. And the president is going to spring that person on us, so it will completely change, because it is someone that has said, I'm not going to do this. This is treason. Remember, this is treason, high treason.
Sir, could he use the emergency broadcast system or emergency action message to
Did
communicate
you see
this?
yesterday that an email went around telling everybody about the emergency broadcast system? So there are those little signals that you see. You see that what I saw was the September 18th or 19th executive order 2018 that if foreigners were involved in the U.S. election, the president could declare an emergency. That means he knew back 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's why it's just all come together that COVID-19 was a biological attack. Let's not say it was an accident and it slipped out of a food market or anything. We're not that naive anymore. Look, this is a scorecard.
Fuck. Yeah, that's what I just received. Yes, there is rumor, Nigel, they're going around. They said they took Nancy's Pelosi's laptop. Now, why in the world she would have left it in her office or whatever and not like taken it with her is a surprise. I don't understand that. I'm not saying that it's not true. I'm just saying I think it's odd. I have some questions. Like they were talking about a cop being killed during the day this happened. With all the people taking pictures and people filming with their laptops. Oh, I'm sorry, but they're filming with their phones. And I'm assuming there's cameras, like security cameras in the Capitol, I would imagine. They said a cop was killed. All we're seeing is the protesters we've already seen being arrested. How are they not, like, have footage of the cop being killed? That's what I want to know. Why are they not focusing on that? I'm confused. I mean, if a cop actually died, why are they not, like, plastering the pictures from the footage of it happening? Like, where did this happen that they didn't have footage of it happening? I have questions. I would like those answers. I mean, wouldn't you? I would. I probably don't need it. Well, I'm sharing. I'm sharing, but I'm gonna share the shit too. But like, yeah, I'll stop for right now. Actually. Anyway, yeah, but I've been wondering because I've been watching, and they've arrested the guy who was stealing the podium, which is a little bit hilarious. It's dumb, but it's kind of funny. They used to carry off his podium with him. Like, those things look like they would be heavy. Like, I don't know, but he's carrying off with, like, one arm waving. I'm like, they're made out of cardboard? What the fuck? I mean, it's even solid wood, it should be pretty heavy. Flasher in your car? Nice. Ow. Must have missed something. Anyway. But I'm wondering, like, there has to be security footage all through the fucking Capitol. So why are we not seeing, like, at least a partially blurred picture? Because, maybe nobody wants to see the dead cop, because that could be gross to people. why not like the perpetrator? Why is there no footage being released of that? Thank you. I stole it from one of the kids. We have a rule in this house. I have a rule in this house. If you wear a band shirt that I know about, if you don't know any of the songs, you don't get to keep the shirt. So I think it belonged to the one of, I think the 15-year-old. No, she's 16 now. I think it belonged to the 16-year-old. And it's like, can you name one or two songs this band did? Nope. Okay, it's mine. The rules. Not gonna have some post-millennial fucker running around with a shirt and she doesn't even know what the hell it is. Right? Yeah, Metallica. I would wear that because I can name at least 2 songs, 3 songs, 4 songs, you know? I can at least name something. One of the girls, I hassled them about having a Jimi Hendrix shirt. I'm like, can you name me one fucking song Jimi Hendrix did? And she's like, and I'm like, shirt is mine, child. She did not surrender it though. So I made her listen all along the Watchtower. You gonna lose it or are you gonna learn? Man, your song count is rising. It varies. Because I can like a band, but it doesn't mean I listen to like every song they do or like every song they do. Yeah. Anyway, like Nirvana's okay, but I think they got like 3 songs I like. But you know, what happened? Did I get cut off for a minute? Did y'all see that? Did I get cut off? Because like on my screen it went dark. I think they're trying to decide who unless they're going to get rid of me, I think. I haven't even gotten into it yet. I was just showing you something that showed up on my, there. Anyway, sorry, people messaging. Anywho, right? Yeah, it did. All right, so everything went weird for a second. I thought it did, and I was like, what happened? Anyway, like I've been watching the news back and forth, people's comments back and forth, and it is the most unbelievable shit I ever thought I'd actually live to see. All right, so the left is having a little hissy. Well, even some rightish people, like a lot of people. Hey there, how are you doing, Zach Rott? Keep it down. I'm putting you in the dog kennel. They don't care. They don't take my threats seriously. They're like, she's talking shit. But anyway, like they're like, oh my goodness, they're clutching their pearls. They're like, oh my god, you stormed the Capitol. Okay, yeah, like a couple of days ago, I tweeted there's like, you can find pictures that back in I think the early 70s, the Black Panthers actually did an armed protest at the Capitol. I don't have a problem with that either. Like, the big problem is everybody is like, I don't know, like last year, you know, people were jumping up and down on cars, setting cars on fire, setting on fire to Starbucks. Like, setting fire to Starbucks is fucked up. Kind of like that. But anyway, and now that same side is clutching their pearls, and they're all like, oh, this protest caused an innocent cop to be killed. Like, first off, what cop? Like, where's the footage? Like, we had all this footage of protesters, like everybody that was there just about. They're all getting arrested for trespassing and whatnot. Where is the footage of the cop being killed? Who's the guy that did that? Because according to the news, he was bludgeoned with a fucking fire extinguisher. You're telling me nobody got footage of that? At all? Nobody? Come on. Really? Weird. Oh. And besides, when did and these are the same people who are, well, some of the people who are offended, no, because it's a mixed bag going on right now about this. But last year, there was a whole lot of fuck the police going on, and they went from fuck the police to back the blue in like a day. That's impressive flipping. That's some acrobats. That's some acrobatic shit right there. Okay? I am all about protest. Ron the dog trainer. I had a it's all run together, so I had to kind of sound that out for a minute. Meow, Kronos. Yeah, but what I think is interesting is like me, I try to stay fairly consistent. Like protesting in the streets, yeah. Probably shouldn't say this. But they set fire to a police station. Now I think that was kind of staged because the windows were already boarded up and it was abandoned when they did it. So that looked like it was kind of a staged thing. But nonetheless, last year they set fire to a police station. I'm not gonna lie, I thought that was pretty fucking cool. And I say that in comparison to setting fire to like small businesses and beating people in the streets. See, here's the thing that everybody is, oh, not everybody, a lot of people are failing to understand is that the police are oftentimes the ones protecting the power players that are screwing us all over. Their side and their side. And we're fighting each other over those assholes. So the fact that, like, I think there's some conflicted feelings in the whole situation on why there might have been some of these guys with these guys is such to, like, cause a problem. But if it had happened organically, like, if these two realized that we're all getting played by the same people, well, that would be kind of awesome. Because, yeah, take it to the Capitol, absolutely. Like, y'all, yeah, there would be a warrant for my arrest if I'd been there. Who called me? Dee Dee, my daughter, who is probably in the other room. Oh, is it your earbuds? She's got these new earbuds that connect to your phone, and if you press them, it turns them on. But if you press it too long, it'll also dial the last person you called. That's what just happened. So she was in her, she was like, sorry. I wouldn't want earbuds like that. That's a pain in the ass. She's like accidentally dialing people she's not meaning to dial. She's like, oh God, poor girl. They will appear by your side or standing against you. You have no power over that aspect of board. Yeah, that is kind of a pain in the ass. But like, yeah, anybody who's mad that I'm like, hey, they stormed the Capitol. That's pretty fucking cool. Like, don't be mad. I thought them setting fire to the police station was pretty cool too. Okay? And like, I'm not down for innocent people being hurt. Don't get me wrong. I'm not advocating that. I'm not. Like that lady who got shot in the chest at the Capitol. That's not cool. And the left, I thought the left, a lot of the protest was about unarmed people being shot. Now suddenly they're like, well, she was breaking the law, so that's what you get. Let me get this straight. These guys are okay that an unarmed woman was shot and killed, and they're talking about how sad it is that this poor police officer was killed during this protest. These are the guys that are saying this. Because last year, that's what these guys were saying. I'm sorry. Am I the only one? Am I living in Bizarro world? Seriously. That is exactly what's fucking happening. I saw a tweet that Jeffree Star's like going on his second date with a cop. And even one of the comments said, when we said fuck the police, we didn't mean it literally. The world has completely turned on its fucking head. It is Bizarro world. It's weird. Like someone was joking that Trump must have done some like 4D chess to get the left to, protest, to like be angry about protests. I'm like, and also let's talk about whole deplatforming people. Man, what the fuck? I'm sorry. Let's play a game here. All right. Deplatforming. Oh, that was a protest. There's some guy. I don't know if he's a journalist or what he is, but he's got like kind of conservative views, I think. I can't remember his name. I see him on tweets sometimes. I actually don't know who the hell he is. But he apparently has a book in bookstores. And so there were people protesting this bookstore. This is going somewhere, I promise. So they're protesting, wanting the bookstore to stop selling these books. So we are trying to censor books. We are trying to censor voices that do not agree with us. We are like deplatforming people and taking their voice. And I have seen some tweets running around talking about Trump supporters should be separated from their children and the Trump supporters should be taken to the education camp. Let me explain something to each and every one of you who have accidentally stumbled into this fucking shit show of a channel of mine. Every time in history that deplatforming, silencing voices, barring or banning books, and putting people in camps has never been on the correct side of history. Never. Not Pol Pot, not Mao, not that little weird German dude with the ugly mustache. None of them. If you are calling to do that, you are the very Nazi that you should be punched. You all last year, for the last few years, this side has been going on about punching Nazis. I have a surprise for you. You might want to sit down. Guess what? You now qualify. Sorry. And for you fuckers over here on this side, you have talked and talked, actually spoken, talked and talked about how, there's going to be a revolution and, we need to do something. We need to make our voices heard at the Capitol. And now some of y'all are like turning on your own side going, well, not like that. Well, we didn't mean like that. Man, stop backpedaling. You're either in it or you're not, all right? You might call me a fence setter, but here's the thing. I like being in the middle a little bit because I get a good view of both sides. Y'all getting played. I'm getting played. You. Yeah, you in the back. Yeah, you too. Y'all getting played. And it's by these assholes. Now, if someone stole Nancy Pelosi's laptop, I think that is insanely hilarious. I'm just not sure which side did it. That's where I'm at. I'm not sure which side did it. That's the fun part. We're not sure. But in that video, you saw some of them were getting called out like, yeah, no, we don't want Antifa here. No. So, yeah, it sounds like they may have invited themselves to the party. Which, granted, you did publicly announce that you were going to be at the Capitol on that date. And that sounds like a public invitation to a party to me. If I had the money, I'd have gone. At the very least, I would have filmed shit. But, yeah. But I can't guarantee I might not have kicked the politician in the process. Because, I would say 90% of them should probably be dragged out by their hair and beaten. Red or blue, I don't care. They're all corrupt. I mean, think about it. How much better has anyone's life really gotten? I mean, things have gotten worse. But how often has things really gotten life-changingly better when a Democrat or a Republican has any power? They're all in it for the money. They're in it for the money, your money. They're in it for the power and the control. Yes. And both sides need to realize this. This right here needs to stop fueling the propaganda machine and actually, I think, come together because both sides are pissed with their government in one way or another. Both want something to change. They know how to get somebody's attention. They certainly did do that. Now that they got somebody's attention, now they're salty. So, yeah. I'm just extra amazed by the flip-flop on this side. Well, she was breaking the law, so that's what you get shot. That is not anything you have said in the last 4 years, ever. And this side, well, if you don't break the law, you won't have a problem. Are now suddenly like, yeah, that fucking happened. Oh, and let me share a little piece of brainwash I saw. And I had to retweet it, so it also makes it easier for me to provide later. I want to share some brainwash I saw earlier. And, I just don't... Come on, Stupid button work. There we go. I have to fight with this thing to make it work sometimes. Do see BS from both sides. Amen to that. That is absolutely correct. So here we go. So yes, this is pretty much very true. I laugh, but I mean, it's not wrong. Right? Like clutching that neck. Like, oh my goodness. Yeah, it's a shit show. Let's scroll up the other stuff I have decided I have. That was just kind of dumb. Oh, Kirstie, I always call her Christy. But it's Kirstie Alley. Y'all remember her from Cheers. At least if you're my age or older, you do. She's like calling 1984 out on blast. Like, she ain't wrong. Like, she kind of is not wrong. Like, yeah. Apparently, a gorilla has tested positive for corona, so I'm not sure what person got close enough to cough on that for that to happen. But we were also told it wouldn't jump species, so, whatever, I guess. Oh, here's that delightful fucking tweet. Oh, PBS. Is it like the actual channel? PBS top lawyer says governor should build enlightenment camp. That's another word for re-education camp. Just so you know. Enlightenment camp. No. And remove children from Trump supporting homes. So the left has been complaining about children being separated from their families at the border, but we're now talking about removing children from other people's families. Okay. Yeah. Let me just explain again. If you want to separate people from their family because they have a different opinion than you, you're on the wrong side of history again. Blah, blah, blah. Where's some of that crazy shit? There's some more crazy shit somewhere. Give me a minute. Oh, this dude. Yeah. I'm definitely down with this dude. I'll give y'all a second just to read that. Apparently he died in 2013. I wonder why. I mean, I don't know, like, did something happen? Was it, like, legit just a car accident? Did the guy kill himself? Like, I wonder what happened. It seems awful young to be dying, you know? But apparently he was a co-founder. But he's right. I mean, there are some things that should be censored. I mean, obviously there are some things that are just grossly inappropriate and unnecessary, like dead baby jokes and anything that encourages, like, pedophilia kind of. Oh, this was hilarious. So a BLM, Emily, I think this stands for All Cops Are Bastards. I think that's what the ACAB stands for. What happened last night was horrible. These terrorists broke into the Capitol and they were being violent. Apparently she means violent, but apparently they were being purple toward these poor police officers. Look at this. All cops are bastards. Poor police officers. I don't even know if we're being trolled anymore. I think people are trolling themselves at this point. I don't even know. I don't know if anybody knows. Yeah. The world's just gone on its head, man. I'm telling you. Oh, this bitch. Yeah. All right. Yeah, hold on to your spigots on this one. I'm fucking dying. After meeting with the police and the detectives that are investigating, I don't blame the boys in blue for standing by while Antifa attacked me. The responsibility is on the mayor, de Blasio. I agree with half of that. I agree that Mayor de Blasio is a fucking twat. I agree that I wouldn't trust him to sack my groceries at the store. I wouldn't. This guy is a fucking nutcase, and so is the rest of his fucking immediate family, as far as I can tell. So I agree with that part. But she doesn't blame the police for standing by while she was attacked. I would. Holy fuck. Oh, Storyman Jack has something to say, apparently. Oath breakers are oath breakers. He ain't wrong. He's not wrong. Where's the lie? Not there. But this brainwashed, goofy bitch doesn't blame the police for standing there and watch her be attacked. Bitch, oh my God. I just can't. I can't with you. Oh, I pinned that one. Yeah, that's yeah. So, yeah, we are like neck deep in an absolute shit show. Hello. It's cool to have double standards if it suits your view, apparently. And unfortunately, both sides are guilty of that. I mean, some a little more than others, but it's still there. Honestly, their energy, their fierceness, their energy, their drive, that should just come together and really go after like the problem. And it's our corrupt ass politicians. And I've heard rumor that there is some shit going on with the Pope. Now, and I put up a video about that because my neighbor, she's one of those people, she keeps her ear to the ground and she hears shit. And so, like, I didn't put her face up there just in case she didn't want anyone like to know who she was or whatever. So, like, I didn't put her name up and, like, I didn't, like, show her face. But I put, like, lemonade and stuff there so it wouldn't look like you're staring at her boobs either because I didn't want it to be weird. But, yeah, she was talking about, like, there's a chance of possibly, like, 80 indictments for child trafficking and covering up crime. I'm sure there's probably more. I mean, think about it. If the Pope is in charge of the Catholic Church, and we've heard tons and tons of stories about bad stuff the priests have been doing, and sometimes the nuns too, then you don't think the boss eventually hears about it? I'm saying, either he's covering up or he's not coping hard enough. He's not doing his job. So, you know, those neocons, both jumping out and they'd sell their mothers out. Bear, that is the damn truth of it. It is. It absolutely is. I'm in charge of my faith. Good on you, Kronos. You're less likely to disappoint yourself. I don't know how some Catholic, but yeah, I mean, they were talking about like a blackout, and then like some stories were saying they were talking about that. No, it was a power blackout at the Vatican. I'm sorry, but are you expecting me to believe that the Vatican does not have like a backup power generator or something? Really? Really? You really expect me to believe that? Your average bank down the street has a backup generator. You're telling me the Vatican doesn't? So don't tell me that it's just a power blackout and that's what that is. Really? It's the Vatican. If they need a generator, they can get it in like 20 minutes if they want it. So I'm sorry, but that dog don't hunt for me. It really doesn't. All of Pakistan lost power. I have no idea what's going on in Pakistan right now, but I did hear that too. I did hear that, but I don't know if there's a correlation with it. I don't know. I mean, communication lines might have been crossed. There might have been a media blackout at the Vatican, and also someone was talking about Pakistan having a power blackout, and they mixed the stories. That's possible. I don't know. But I did hear about Pakistan the same day I was hearing about the Vatican thing, and I'm like, so I'm not entirely sure what the fuck's going on. I'm not going to pretend I do. But I can tell you some things just don't seem right. Is that our fault? Pakistan losing power to the Vatican thing? No, I'm not saying that it is. But the fact that we see the media and we know it lies to us. And we get so mad that we sometimes forget to, it's not just sometimes what you see, it's what you don't see. Male ops all over the world is what I've been hearing in chatter. That's very possible. I mean, yeah, 20,000 soldiers is at the Capitol. My shit went out. But yes, to some degree, this has been all our fault. I always thought that me deciding just not to vote, because oftentimes we're not given any good choice to vote on. It's either crap or shit to vote from. Usually. I didn't want to be complicit in it. I didn't want to be like, yeah, I voted for that asshole. Fuck. I've done that once before, and I felt bad for it. So, I mean, if we were given good choices to choose from, yes. But, okay, do I seriously just might not have a lighter in this room? Or, it's under my keyboard, okay. I was like, what? But yes, but you know what? It's not necessarily the voting thing. I thought I was less complicit than others because I didn't vote. But you know what? Maybe I didn't yell loud enough. Maybe I should have been standing outside buildings for years, holding up signs calling people out on the corruption. We all should have. We all should have made more noise. We tweeted things here and there. We Facebook posted things here and there. But we didn't cause enough noise in general as a whole. Not one party or the other, but as a whole. Because see, this isn't all because of one man. This isn't all just because of Trump. Like every president for a very long time has been complicit in letting things get worse and worse and worse. We have done nothing to stop it. So maybe I'm partially to blame. I didn't make enough noise when I should have. Maybe we all didn't. When now don't get me wrong, I was not on the Bush train like a lot of people I knew were when George W. was in. And when he did the Patriot Act, isn't it funny how sometimes those acts, like the names they give them, are actually the very opposite of what they are? Because in the Patriot Act, there is nothing patriotic about that. There's not. I'm sorry, but there's nothing patriotic about the Patriot Act. But yeah, I was sitting there like, oh, it doesn't seem like such a good idea. That seems a little suspect. Not sure. Didn't like the idea of it even then. But so many Republicans cheered because they'd rather trade safety for freedom. So we tolerated it. And then Obama got in. And he made the National Defense Authorization Act, which is just, Patriot Act .2 or 2.0. And then the left side cheered. And not to, be a dork about Star Wars, but there goes democracy with thunderous applause. So this kind of thing has been slowly cooking for a long time. And when we didn't scream and throw a fit and protest for the Patriot Act, we didn't do much of anything. Then we got mad because Obama did pretty much the same thing. But it was different because it wasn't our guy that did it. We were okay with corruption and bad things happening when it's our guy that does it. Or our team that does it. That's the problem. We shouldn't be looking at this like teams. Okay? Each individual politician should be held accountable for the laws they have broken and the things they have done. Lobbyists need to be tarred and feathered. Kai reminded me how important tar and feathering people are. He kind of joked. I talked to him earlier today. He reminded me that people used to be tarred and feathered. I'm like, I could crack a joke about that. I think lobbyists should absolutely be dragged out by their hair and tarred and feathered. Absolutely. Like, these politicians, like, these congressmen, like, even when they get out, even if they do get out and they stop being congressmen, dude, the money they still get paid afterwards, they don't need any lobby money. If you go into politics supposedly honest and you come out a multi-millionaire, you're a crooked politician most likely. Probably. Unless you're really good with investments. Nothing wrong with being a dork. I am a dork. Why are we talking about dorks? Like that. Yeah, the South part of the douche or the turd sandwich. Yes, it is so much like that. So maybe I should have protested. Like, a lot of times I don't find out about protests till after the fact, and they're on the news, and it's already done. And I'm like, fuck. Like, I have no idea. Like, what chat group do I go for that? But when there is, I'm happy to go and film it. But that is the issue. We voted Bush in a second time because, well, just like I said in V for Vendetta, there were a myriad of problems. And there are some that are more responsible than others, but if you truly want to know who's responsible, look in the mirror. I guess I'm as guilty as you. I'm as guilty as anyone. Maybe I should have made noise. Maybe I should have, but I don't know. It's one of the things that I'm happy to talk shit about both sides, absolutely. But for a long time, I felt like it was one side or the other. So that's kind of why I have my picture the way I do. Because maybe both sides in their own way are right and both sides are wrong. Because neither one can agree on how to get shit done, but we both know something's not right. And don't think for one sec. This part actually entertained me the most. The idea that some of those politicians were actually freaked out. That's actually kind of good, and I'll explain why. Because if people go around untouchable in their ivory towers, be able to decide what what kind of life we're going to have, what laws we have to follow, and yet they get to just coast through becoming super rich and untouchable. There is no justice. It is hard to get any politician caught in corruption because they're all in it together. They've got each other's back. They've got dirt on each other at the very least. So, yeah. It's like, it's hard to explain. Remember, I haven't watched much wrestling, but remember like in the 90s where like one wrestler would like supposedly have beef with like another wrestler, and so it'd stir up drama, and so the audience would be like, yeah, I'm on his side. They would be like, no, I'm on his side. And like, it was really just staged bullshit and staged like this and that to get the masses all worked up and picking a side. That's a bad news. God, stoners cough loud. Jesus. Their lungs must be exfoliating like a snakeskin. Fuck. But more, I would have made it would have made a difference. To be honest, if we had caught it early enough, maybe. But a lot of this started before we were born, or we were really young. Depending on how old you are. If you're over 40, it probably started happening when you were really young. But unfortunately, we still should have. Because the worse things get, the more lost it seems. We should have all done something sooner. Both sides should have held their parties accountable. We should have. We didn't do it enough. We kept making excuses. We kept making excuses for everyone. Every time someone was shot because they had a cell phone in their hand by a cop, we excused it by saying, oh, well, that person shouldn't have been there, or this, or that. You know, every time, like, I don't know, one of them said something we didn't like, we reported it, or, retweeted it with a @FBI, even though sometimes the stuff that's said on this side isn't always better. Sometimes. But we should have. It's like being on the highway. We complain about traffic, but dude, we're in a car. We're part of traffic. We're part of it. Things that should have been done a long time ago might have helped. Highbound, rigged. Yes, Kronos, it is rigged. It is rigged against us. And the worst part of it is that we know, both sides know that the system is rigged against us. But we can't stop fighting each other long enough to do anything. And this, I'd have loved to have been there. I'd have filmed the fuck out of this. Like, Jesus, he scared the hell out of me. Sorry. Thank you. That door opened really quiet, and then I just heard a voice and saw shit. It's like I should have worn my brown pants. Ooh, okay, but I'm good. Anyway, for the longest time, we and our parents, maybe all of them should have started saying something, doing something. I mean, back to like when they were protesting against Vietnam, maybe it didn't do a whole lot of good. But by God, it was hard to ignore. And now we have found ourselves in a situation where we can be deplatformed for this very conversation we're having. And if anyone out there is even remotely the slightest bit confused or unsure of what side to be on, don't be on the side where you're okay separating people from their family and putting people in any kind of encampment. Wrong side of history. Don't be okay with unarmed people being shot by cops. Wrong side of history. Don't be so blinded by you confuse your patriotism for brainwashing. Like that tweet where that girl goes, I don't blame the police for not stepping in and helping me when I was being attacked. Bitch, have some self-respect for yourself. Oh my God. Really? Really? The cops were right there. And you don't blame them for not doing anything? Have some self-respect, woman. Jesus Christ, get off the fucking Twitter. Seriously. Like, that's brainwash. That's too pro-cop. You're so pro-cop that you're okay for them standing by while you get beaten or whatever kind of attack it was. You lost your mind. I am serious. Man, the reset button I want to do, man, I'd be deplatformed completely off. Like, I think they would actually put a court order that I wouldn't be allowed around a cell phone or computer. Like, my idea is just, yeah, it'd be considered disruptive. Even though nothing would technically be broken. But I would need a lot of copper. Can't afford it. It started 6 centuries ago, no secret. Granted, but at least they kept it secret. At least they kept it underground. So yeah, it did actually, some of the shit did start long ago, and it got carried over here into the United States. Fair's not actually wrong necessarily. But like the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, maybe the 80s, maybe if we had just gone balls deep and done something wild, but maybe we didn't realize the extent of the corruption. We accepted the world that was presented to us. We accepted the news because there, for the most part, a lot of times, at least for a while, the news was honest. It told the truth, and the lines started to blur, and now we wake up, we look around, we realize we cannot trust screenshots, we can't trust tweets, we can't express things without a possible problem. We can't. People are protesting. People having, publishing books. If you don't want the book, don't read it. Okay? I've seen this posted around a few times. If you cut out a man's tongue, you're not proving that he's a liar. Okay? Silencing people doesn't make you right. It doesn't. It makes you the very fascist you claim not to be. God, I wish I could just take both sides and line them up and just absolutely, like Three Stooges, slap all of them in a straight line. Just slap myself because maybe I should have, like, at least in local elections, maybe try to vote for somebody worth the shit. Although we have Langford. I apologize. He bended the knee as well. Because I should have been paying closer to local election type shit. Because our local officials do represent us, or at least theoretically represent us in D.C. I thought the world, I don't know. I should have realized the world starts at home, and yeah. I should have. I didn't. So to some degree, it is my fault. In some ways, if there was something we could have said or done and we didn't, fault lies with us to some degree. We should have done something sooner. Honestly, we should have taken a note from these assholes, surprisingly. And you know what? Shit is fucked up. Maybe I don't agree with what they're doing. I don't agree with their point of view. But maybe a crazy ass attack and showing of force might be just what we need to do. You know what? We should have. We fucking should have. Should have done it a long time ago. And a lot of y'all gonna think I'm an asshole for it. But in 1775, shit kicked off with someone pulling the trigger at Concord. If I'm wrong about 1775, you can just kiss my ass. I'm sorry, but I think that's correct. Anyway, and back then, there were some folks that were like, ooh, cool, America. And there was other folks that were like, whoa, hey, King George is cool. It's okay. And of course, the British were like, you treasonous, seditious bastard, you. Now these people are calling these folks treasonous and seditious. What? Maybe you get accused of treason and sedition when you go up against the power that is in place when you don't agree with it. But we don't agree with it. Neither side actually does. I mean, they might have their favorite party, and they might have their favorite party. but they both know something's wrong. They keep us tired, they keep us busy, they keep us distracted, they keep us poor. So we don't have. It's hard for us to go up there and actually put up a fight. To actually show up on their fucking doorstep and be like, "Hey, asshole, yeah, I'm holding you accountable. Do your job and get out." We gotta figure out a way to do that. I think airplane flights are still pretty cheap, but I'd actually suggest the train because the left was having so much fun about the protesters at the Capitol not being put on a no-fly list, and so they were like stuck at the airport. And I retweeted that, and I was like, you do realize there are trains that go like all through the United States, right? Like it'll take a little longer once you can do that. You can rent a car and go back home and drop the car off at Hertz or whatever. Airplane is not the only way to travel. If you think it is, then I don't know I don't know what to tell you. But I wouldn't have stayed in D.C. long unless I wanted to. Would have been sitting there in the airport like a dumbass going, "Oh, what to do? Get a fucking train ticket, what?" Always have a backup plan. Always have a contingency. I prefer having protests closer by, so that way I can get home easier and quicker. Not big a fan of going to a protest that's out of my state. But we don't protest much here in Oklahoma. Perhaps we should. There is rumor that on the 16th or like 20th, I'm not sure what day, I have to try to find it again. There's supposed to be an armed protest in the capital of all 50 states. I am excited because I am going to film that if I can get to it. Because the capital here in Oklahoma is, I think, 5 to 8 miles west of me. It is just down the street. I'm totally gonna film that shit. I don't care. I don't care if it's them or both. I am gonna be there to film it. I am there for it. I am. Because the one thing I did give credit to these guys for is they got up and they made a fucking noise. They got seen and they got heard. I give them that. Whether or not they were paid by Soros, don't know. I do not know. But boy, I can see the hypocrisy happening, and it is unfathomable. We need to fix that shit. But yeah, if you're not sure what side to be on, I'm on the side of people having the freedom to complain about their government. I am on the side of people being able to go up and knock on their representative's door and be like, or email and be like, "Hey, fuck shit, you need to do your job right, man." People need to be able to agree to like vote somebody out or whatever. For real, I'm on that side. If someone has a book I don't like, I just won't read it. I don't like beer, but I'm not going to start some fucking Carrie Nation bullshit to stop you from drinking beer just because I don't like it. Even though alcohol does cause harm over time and has led to people's death. It's your choice, not mine to make for you. So yeah. So stop protesting people making books. Like if Biden wrote a book, I wouldn't go protest that bookstore sold it. I wouldn't. I just wouldn't read it. I wouldn't give a shit. I wouldn't. I just don't care. So if he wants to write a book, go ahead. Write it, dude. First Amendment. Express yourself. Go for it. Fine. But this amount of censorship and the fact that Twitter even came out and was like, yeah, we're going to be deplatforming a whole lot of people. I'm like, because like, wasn't it like a year or two ago that people were going around saying that getting shadow banned was a total like conspiracy theory? I am afraid that the shit that we thought was crazy 5 to 10 years ago, it turns out not to be so crazy. I mean, it's crazy, but it's not wrong. And it's weird to watch. The government even like mid last year even came out and admitted the existence of aliens. Have you noticed that the Babylon Bee is probably the most accurate news source we have on Twitter? Sadly, it is. They've actually been so accurate, they've actually had to try to step it up a notch on their absurdity to to still be satire. Like they actually have to go out of the way to work harder to be satire because their shit is so normally accurate. It's scary. It's insane. But that's exactly what we're facing. That is exactly the world we live in. And to some degree, whether it's because of who we voted for, or maybe we didn't look close enough and read close enough in between the lines, maybe we could have slowed this down, or maybe made it change direction. Something. It doesn't help that people who do support Trump, and I know it's not all of them, but people who supported Trump made fools of themselves and acted crazy. It doesn't help that people who supported Obama acted like obnoxious assholes and acted did the stuff they did. When Obama won, it didn't help that the people who were against him were burning dolls in effigy of Obama. Like, that's so grossly inappropriate. And it's the same kind of grossly inappropriate as that, what's that has-been's name? Kathy Griffin holding up that fake bloody beheaded Trump doll thing. Like, that was nasty looking. That was gross. Like, that's not funny. That's nasty. That's just nasty. That's gross looking. I find them both completely just wrong. Should not have been done. It's in poor taste. I mean, it's part of your protest, and I guess it's your right, but we're supposed to use our rights with common sense. And we're all failing to do that, but then get mad when someone else doesn't. Yeah. Can Trump be charged with an offense that carries the death sentence? Did he murder somebody? Because it's been a long time. If you're talking about like treason and sedition, technically, like if you go AWOL or whatever, like sometimes, especially during wartime, that can be considered a death sentence. But nobody actually carries it out anymore like that. So a lot of the stuff that's on the old books that carry a sentence of death isn't really practiced anymore. So I find it unlikely. But considering all the corrupt stuff that past presidents have done, no. How are we going to start with this guy? Honestly. Like, George Bush helped start a war that we're still in. Kids who were barely born when 9/11 happened are now fighting in the same war as their daddies died in. That's a war that lasted too fucking long. And the left, the Democrats weren't they supposed to be against war? And then like it switched over, and then suddenly the Republicans were against war, and it wasn't Bush no longer involved in it; it was somebody else. Then they were against war. No. If you're against something, then you stay that way. If you are against war for a good reason, then it shouldn't matter who's in power. You should be against it. But there are people who will vote Democrat or Republican just straight down the line. Won't even look at the name next to it. They just look for that R or that D. It's check, 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 check. All the way down. That is a huge problem. There's something wrong with that. People take more effort into reading and thinking and looking at the stats on that NFL draft game than they do the politicians that are supposed to represent them. It's insane. And sports is pretty much just entertainment for the masses to keep us distracted if we're not getting ourselves worked up from the news that lies to us. So Soros is a terrorist then. Well, depends on your point of view of a terrorist. Oftentimes, a terrorist is what the big army calls a small army. Because, like you said, that shot that was fired at Concord in 1775, that guy was considered a terrorist by a few people. We don't see them that way now. It's amazing what 100, 200 years can do. And as my dad used to say, it is the victors who write the history books. Because if something's right, it's right. If it's wrong, it's wrong. It shouldn't matter who's president or who's in power. If something they're doing is wrong, they need to be called on it. That's the truth of it. It shouldn't be about if there's a team, it should be us against them. The people who rule over us. not your neighbor, not the shop owner down the street. No, they screw us all over. And even that can't seem to unite us. Fuck. We're doomed. I mean, unless everybody pulls something really magic out of their ass at some point soon, I don't see any hope for us. I wish I had better news, but honestly, I don't see it getting better. It hasn't. Like, Reagan did his Iran-Contra thing. Pretty sure, I'm pretty sure that didn't pan out well. Yeah. So, Reagan, then Bush, then Clinton, Bush again. Well, different Bush, but, I mean, obviously. Then Obama, and now Trump. Tell me, how has our world gotten any better? I mean, it has in tiny ways. People are more accepting of each other in some ways than they used to be. But now it's gotten so crazy that now literally everybody just switched fucking places in the past week. Everybody just switched fucking places all of a sudden. That's pretty insane. So America will be back in the Paris Accord and the WHO soon. Oh yeah, that's just what we need. The World Health Organization, who literally couldn't find their ass with both hands. Fan-fucking-tastic. Joy. People aren't doing their job either. This world is such a mess that I think it's out of our hands. I mean, unless we just want to go straight berserk. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they both have the right idea. Maybe extreme reaction is necessary. Oh, what was it? Kennedy said something. John F. Kennedy, what was it? Fuck, I can't remember. It was something along the lines that if peaceful protest is not allowed, violent revolution becomes inevitable. I'm not saying I condone that, but I might not necessarily ban you from my channel if you do. Just saying. Hey Curtis, hey Brian, have you heard of Texas? Apparently other states want it. Texas. Is this like Texas seceding from the Union talk again? Because they've been talking about that for like 10 fucking years. Hey Darpasher. But, alright, I've been on for about an hour. So, yeah. If anybody knows about that, finds that tweet or whatever where they're talking about having another armed protest at every capital of all 50 states, please tweet that to me. Or private message, just in case you don't want to get banned by Twitter. I mean, whatever. Either way, if you find that, if I can't, that would be sweet. I want to be there to film that shit. I don't care if it's one or the other or both of these motherfuckers. I don't care. I will film that shit for you guys. I'll do my best to have nice, long bits of footage so that way it's not chopped up and looks like it's trying to fit a narrative. I'm not trying to do that to y'all. Because there's too much of that. I'll film what is, good or bad. You're off Twitter. By choice or not by choice? I'm surprised I haven't been kicked off Twitter. I'm not gonna lie. I have said some shit, and I am really surprised that I have not been kicked off. Am I so under the radar and so just she's not a problem. They just don't even bother with me. It's a false flag. I'm there for it though. I'm there for it. If it's a false flag, I'll film it. I don't care. I'll film it. I'm there for it. There's a protest, if there's insurrection, sedition, protest, fires, whatever, I will film it. I am there for it. I totally am. Because, yeah. I will try to get all the good shots if I can. And I've tried live streaming with my phone, and it is choppy as fuck. Also, downside, if I live stream it instead of just film it, and they take the live stream down, it's gone. But if I record it on my phone, then upload it and then take it down, I can still at least maybe upload it to another platform and give y'all the link, and the video will still exist. See? I would like to actually live stream it. Actually, if I can have some help, I probably will be filming it, and maybe someone else holds like another device and live stream it. So if one fails, we still got that going. So I can still try to do that. I may have to try to figure out another platform and just give y'all a link to it, but I may have any trouble, like Mirrors or whatever it's fucking called. It won't let me sign up. I don't know why, but it's not letting me. And Gab is not even letting me post my profile picture. Like, every time I try to put up a profile picture, it goes back to the start and doesn't let me do it. I'm like, so like, if you find me on Gab, it's like a gray spot where my picture should be. So, like, I am trying to sign up for these other platforms, but they're not letting me. And my friend the other day, he gave me this little SD card thing, and I'm like, what's this, dude? He goes, it's a different operating system. I'm like, did you just give me fucking Linux? And he's like, yeah. I went, he just gave me fucking Linux. I have no idea what the hell I'm going to do with that. Looks like this old dog is going to have to learn new stuff. Damn it. I think that's another problem. I hate the idea, even though Twitter is a shit show, I hate the idea of leaving it because I'm used to it. We get so used to things. We hate to try to learn something new, and we end up becoming complacent. I am guilty of it too. It's a hard pill to swallow sometimes when you realize that in your own little tiny way you are part of the problem. It's a tough pill to swallow, and I hate it. I really do. I don't like myself for it at all. But if there is a false flag, protest, whatever you want to call it, BitChute. I actually heard it. I heard BitChute is actually possibly going to be bending at the knee as well. Is what I've actually heard. I'm not totally certain, but that I have heard that is a possibility. So I heard that about Parler and it happened. So anyway, but I'll try to figure out something. Anyway, also, I might on Sunday be on Kai's channel because even though it's, well past Christmas, he's got that little game show thing he does, and it's got like Christmas theme. But he says it's not going to be like stupid Christmas shit. It's going to be more like Futurama and like South Park style of Christmas, which is a vast improvement. I'm so over Christmas. Like, as soon as Thanksgiving happens, like you hear Christmas music in the store, and I was so done with it. I hate Christmas. I really do. Like, if you like it, that's awesome, but it's not for me. But I think I am going to be on Kai's channel on Sunday. I forget what time, because I'm bad at remembering. Plus, he's like on the other side of the country, so I don't remember what time, my time or his. But I'm sure just look for his tweets, and he will advertise it. I'm sure. Anyways, I love you guys, and I don't know when I'll stream again or what I'll put up. It's we'll kind of see, because I actually had some plans and things I was wanting to do, but the weather's been so cold and so shitty. It's been very difficult, like snow, ice, just fucking miserably cold, and a lot of the stuff that I wanted to film, stuff I wanted to do was outdoors, so that was a problem. So I'll check the forecast, see what's going on, and see if I can put something up that might entertain y'all. But yeah, with all this going on, I really, you pretty much either get this point of view or this point of view. And I think both sides are guilty, and both sides in some ways are right. And nobody's willing to compromise on that. And some compromising might be good. We need to listen to ourselves. We need to listen to each other more. We probably do better sitting in a bar, talking to someone who has a different opinion than you, and just chatting. Don't get too drunk. That could actually cause a problem. But you get the point, though. Just chill with a beer and get at least, even if you don't agree, at least see where they're coming from. See, okay, I can really understand why you have this view. I notice I get along better with people in person, which is weird because I'm a very antisocial person. I'm not very good with people. But I've realized that people with different opinions than me, I actually get along better with them in person. Because, like, say, our Aunt Jazzy, she, like, in some ways we're kind of polar opposite. Sort of. Like, in some places we're polar opposite. But as far as civilized, decent behavior toward one another, we're right on par with each other. But sometimes, like, she thinks I sound a little too right, and sometimes I think she seems a little too left. But when we're actually sitting down talking, we find that we actually have more in common than can be necessarily conveyed or hear tone inflection on a computer. And that is some of our biggest problem. Is not only censorship, but the inability to find common ground with each other. And they don't want us to. That's the thing. That's it though. We're both playing into their hands. Hey Kai, yeah, I was just talking about you. I was just telling that Sunday I was going to be on your game show thingy, and it's going to be like weird dysfunctional Christmas game of some kind. It seems fun. I was looking through your stream and got yeah, like it doesn't send out notifications for shit. But yes, say hi Kai. Tell everybody say hi to Kai. Hi to Kai. Sounds weird when I say it that way. But yes, I was telling everybody when I was talking to you earlier, you reminded me about people needing to be tarred and feathered. Well, he didn't say they need it, but he was mentioning that, because I don't want him to get blamed for something. But he was reminded me that there was a time when people got tarred and feathered. So I mentioned to that. I was like, there's a lot of lobbyists that probably should be dragged out in the street and tarred and feathered. And I thanked you for reminding me that was a thing. That used to be a thing. We should bring it back. It should be retro. We should bring it back. We should make it trend again. Yes, let's make it happen. Make it a thing. Anyways, but I have talked y'all's poor ears off for over an hour. I'm so sorry. But in fairness, I think I've been gone for well over a month. I mean, I've visited other people's channels for a short bit, but as far as actually streaming for mine, I'd have to actually look and see when's the last time I streamed. It could be 2 months. It could be because we're in January. It might have been somewhere in November. It might have been the last time. I'm not sure. We'd have to check. I know. Anyway, I love y'all. And remember, let's try not to be keyboard warriors at each other on the internet. I understand if people try to poke the bear and piss you off. Welcome. If you guys cannot find common ground, go to each other, go to your rooms, go to your separate corners. Because making each other angrier and angrier and angrier toward each other is not going to fix this. We have to get angry at the people who pulled the strings. That's always been the actual right answer. Not each other, not the citizenry. Even if they don't realize it, you're going to need to realize it for them and not play that with them. Don't engage in it. Don't. Anyway, so I love y'all. Mwah, 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 mwah to everybody out. I went to the dentist yesterday and they're like, a little tender. Apparently a piece of bone had to be removed. I was like, oh, Lord mercy. I feel pretty decent for having that happen. But don't touch it right now. Anyway, I love y'all. And I will try to find something interesting to stream for y'all or some interesting. I don't know. I can't make promises. Oklahoma is not the most exciting place, I'll be honest. And the weather sucks, so it makes it hard to do anything outside the swamp. So, but I don't know. You'll definitely see active on Twitter though. Because I cannot completely shut the fuck up. As you've noticed, because I've said goodbye 3 times. Anyways, but hugs and kisses to all of you. And I hope this stream doesn't get shut down because I'll be very sad if I go back and find out it was removed. I'll be very sad. I will. I'm hoping it's 50-50 enough that it'd be like, okay, it can stay. I'm hoping, but we'll see. So, anyway. I probably won't do that. Anyways, but sweet dreams, and if y'all want to, say hi to me on Twitter or whatever, you totally can. Yeah. Oh, I forgot. I gotta hit that shit twice. Lots of